In this video, I'm going to go over the logic strategy core with Bloodhound and how LogikAi interfaces and can review and assign a probability score to each trade for filtering to give you better trade results. So the first thing here is I have an ES15 range chart, and I'm going to go ahead and put up the Logic Bloodhound strategy framework. Okay, I'm going to get this set up for a simple backtest. Here's all the parameters. I go over all of these parameters in the documentation. We'll have a stop loss of 15. I will have a target of 20, so I'll have a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio. I'm going to enable my AI function to train, and I'll leave everything else at default with the exception of the Bloodhound template to use. So I just have a pre-canned template that I made. This is basically when the volume breaks out of a recent minimum and the price is by a Bollinger Band extreme, it's going to give a signal expecting a breakout. Okay, so I will run this. Let's give it a minute for this backtest to take place. And once this backtest finishes, I'm going to go ahead and we'll pull up the strategy results and we'll store them so we can see what it's like before and after. So you can see to start, we have some trades here. The overall results are not very good. 1.04 profit factor, 43% of the trades are profitable, and you have 82 trades total. Okay, so we're going to take a snapshot of this. I'm going to move this off to the side. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to train my model. Okay, so I just click this Train AI button. You see up here it says Training AI Model. Give it about 10 seconds and it will finish training. During the training process, the software takes hundreds of different snapshots of the market at each of these entry points and compares them to winning and losing versions of one another, so it can get an idea of what the market looks like with all of these various features in the background when a trade is a winner versus a loser. And so you get enough data points and you train this model, you're able to separate winners from losers with a certain probability assigned to them. So you see this finished, and the accuracy of the model is 68%, which means the model is able to separate a winning trade from a losing trade with 68% accuracy. So 68% of the time it's correct at separating winning and losing trades. And this gives you a balanced threshold or probability of win of 47%. And what that is that is the cutoff that you want to select to not filter out, not be too tight where you filter out winning trades as well as losing trades, but mostly losing trades. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save this model, and the model saves to a file, and by default it goes by the symbol name, the chart type and interval, and then it just gives you these two percentages here. Okay, and we're going to run the exact same strategy, and we're going to enforce the model, and I'm going to select that model file that we just saved. And when you come to this point, there's two options. Either you can skip the trade altogether if the probability is less than 47%, or you can increase your position size if the probability is greater than 47%. So we're going to start simple. We're going to say don't trade at all if the probability is 47% or less. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and run this again. Let this backtest finish. And once it finishes, we will compare these results, the prior to AI results, with the results after running the model to make decisions here. Okay? So you can see a significant boost in profitability. The profit factor went up about 60% or 0.6. The number of trades went down by about 25%. Let's see what else we want to talk about here. Oh, the percentage profitable went from 43 to 55. So overall, the entire system did better just by applying some AI intelligence to the decision making. Okay, so let's take this to the next level. So now, one other thing that you get with this is you can see here it tells you the probability of win on each of the trades. So this guy is 55% chance that it's going to be a winner. And as we go back through, we'll see others. This was an 82% chance it was a winner. This was an 86% chance, ended up being a loser. And that number is plotted across. Okay, so here's a 48% chance. And this was a loser. This was 73, it was a winner. So this is one of the cases where you picked this balanced threshold that happened to be 46%. But if I bump this up a little bit, we would filter this trade out while keeping other trades that are winners. Okay? And the system gets very selective when you start to put this AI model to use here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a slight adjustment to the probability of win, and we'll see how that changes the effects of the, the outcome. I'll go ahead and I'll take a snapshot of this, and we'll make some changes and we'll compare that again. So now, instead of saying don't trade, I'm going to change this to increase the position size if my probability of win is greater than my threshold. And right now I'm doing one contract, so I'll just multiply it by 2 and I'll do 2 contracts. And I'm going to bump this up a bit to be a little more selective. Maybe I'll make it, I don't know. Let's just start with 50 and see what that brings us. And now if the probability of win is greater than 50, it'll multiply by 2. Okay, so now look at our results. And here, by just increasing the position size based on number of contracts, based on that cutoff, we now bump our profitability, or our total net profit just doubles. It's a little bit of an almost even double. Probably I would have expected to see a little bit more skewed on the making more money side, but again, this all depends on the strategy. This was some stuff that I plucked out of a hat with no real decision making or real intelligence of how everything's trading. So this just shows how the AI module can help basically any strategy become better. It can be used in different ways, and it can make any strategy better without having to add any additional code or do any additional work. You let the machine go and find patterns in the data and make decisions based on whether or not the probability of the trade being a winner versus a loser is higher than a threshold. Any questions, please let me know. Once this model is trained, if you wanted to use this for manual trading, you could pull this same model that you just saved right here into the Bloodhound LogikAi signals indicator, and it will give you racing stripes when there is a trade coming up or a signal, and it will put the probability of win on the chart so you can make a decision in real time to trade with either the chart trader or whatever tool you like to trade with. Thank you.